Welcome to today's video, and I'm so freaking excited because today we are going to be ranking all the palettes from my absolute favorite brand. And if you haven't been here before, you wouldn't know, but it is Unearthly Cosmetics. I love this brand so much. It is my absolute favorite #1 brand, and I have a ton of favorite brands in my collection, but these are just my favorite. They all speak to my heart, and it's going to be hard to rank these. But if you already know my #1 palette, or you think you do, well, leave it down below in the comment. But if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on this brand and on these palettes, then just keep watching. Son here. Hi, my name is Heather Eaglin. I love all things makeup, especially colorful makeup and indie brands. And if you guys love those things too, I really hope you will subscribe and click the little bell so you can be notified of all my future uploads. And if you like this video at the end of it, if you don't mind, would you please give it a thumbs up? It really helps me out. And maybe one day I will be lucky enough to work with Unearthly Cosmetics and maybe even have a code with them to share with you guys. But I love this brand so much. But before we get into that, what is on my eyes today is the new Nomad New Zealand Stargazing palette. And if this video is not already up, it will be soon. I think it might go up next after this video, but once it is up, I will have it linked in the description box so you guys can watch it. But just so you know, I am loving this, and I can't wait for you guys to see how I created this look and the other look that I created. I found Unearthly Cosmetics not last year now. It was the fall of 2022. So I've had them in my life for a little over a year. My first palette from them was 3 of their Halloween releases, and those were my favorite palettes all of 2022 and for most of 2023. But those are the palettes that made me totally obsessed with this brand and everything they do. But I have 11 here, and I'm going to start from my least favorite to my favorite. But let me just say, I love all of these palettes. I recommend all of them. They're all wonderful. The newer formula is my favorite, but the older formula is really good too. And I honestly don't think you will be disappointed. But starting in at number 11, we have the beautiful Fairy Frolic palette. This is such a gorgeous, like, grungy fairy garden to me. I really love this. The reason I put it at number 11 is because it's a very mid-tone palette for me. You do have the darker, like, bark shade here, but I don't have anything light enough for the inner corner. Now, if I was just doing my makeup like off camera, I would just add in another palette. Before I started YouTube, I always use like 3 or 4 palettes to create a look. It's fun for me. But now that I'm on YouTube, it does make it hard to use just one palette. And typically that's what a lot of people want to see. So that's why it's ranking lower. But let me tell you, if you are drawn to this color story, you will lose your freaking mind because this is incredible. Next, we have the 1964 palette, and this is one of the palettes I was talking about. It's one of the first palettes I tried from Unearthly Cosmetics, and I've been obsessed with these palettes ever since. I don't know if my color stories are right because I took them apart and rearranged them to do like a build your own palette kind of look, but I tried very hard to put them back the way that they were. I just don't know if I did, but these palettes are freaking stunning. These were some of the first multichromes that I ever tried, and I've been nuts over them ever since. This one is no longer available, unfortunately, and that was my number 10th palette. The reason I didn't rank it higher is because it's not deep enough for me, and it also is not my favorite color story. I love the greens and blues. I could do without these two shades. The shimmers are stunning, but it's just not my favorite color story. And then coming in at number 9, we have the Weirdos palette. This palette is like speaks to my heart. I love this so much. I love how grungy and dark it is. It goes from light to really dark. I have a huge pan in the center of this palette. You can't really see how big it is, but you can see it. But I love the grungy greens in here, and I just think this palette is stunning. And this is another one that's not available anymore. I believe I only have 3 that's no longer available. Coming in at number 8, we have a palette that's very new to me, and the more I use it, the more I fall in love with it. I recently took this out of town to go see my mom, but we have the Sorcerous Smoke palette, and I wore it while I was gone, and every time I use this palette, I love it more and more. It is so freaking beautiful. If I could do anything, I wish it had like a pastel yellow or a lighter shade for my inner corner, but that's just me being nitpicky because to be honest, this palette is absolutely perfect. I've never touched a better shimmer formula in my life. It is so shiny and reflective and glittery and beautiful, and it goes from very deep to light. I love the grunginess of it, these mustard shades. This it matches my background. It's like it's my vibe, my soul. I love this palette. I love it so much. And if I could, I'd rank them all at first place because they're all amazing. Coming in at number 7, we have my second purchase from Unearthly Cosmetics, and it is the Lore palette. I love the artwork on this. I think it's so beautiful, but I freaking love this color story. Orange and green are my 2 favorite colors, and I love wearing them together. I love the pop of turquoise in the center. This is like a orange to like a lime green duochrome. It has a black shade. The oranges in here are absolutely stunning. And honestly, it would pair perfectly with Sorcerous Smoke. Can you see? These two would be absolutely stunning together. But I love this palette. It's still available. I highly recommend you guys check it out if you haven't already. I was kind of like way late picking it up, but I'm still so glad that I did. And then coming in at number 6 is my newest Unearthly palette. This is the Dreamer palette. This palette is stunning. First of all, her artwork on her palettes is always out of this world. The artists she picks to do the artwork for these are so talented. But I love this color story. I love the pink and purples. I just think it's winter and spring. It's such a beautiful palette. I really love the cool tone shades. This hollow chrome, it's called Dream State, is truly out of this world. I love the shade Tranquil as well. It's been one of my favorite palettes to play with lately. Honestly, it kind of looks like my eye look. I bet I could create a similar look with this palette, but it is absolutely stunning. I believe the palette is sold separately now and it is available for pre-order, but I bought the one that came in the big collection and it came with the highlighting palette, and these are some of the smoothest highlighters that she's ever done. I really love them. And then it also came with 4 lipsticks. I'll just show you one of them, but I'm really loving this new lipstick formula. It is beautiful. Now we are at my top 5, and coming in at number 5 is a palette that I love so much. We have the Unearthly Cosmetics and Heather Austin Resurgence palette. I love the artwork on this. I think it's so pretty. It kind of goes with my background too, but the color story on this is gorgeous. One of my favorite eyeshadow colors to wear is blue. I love blues, pinks, purples. I love the whole rainbow, to be honest. But for some reason, when I put on a blue eyeshadow, I just feel like I can freaking do anything. It's like such, it makes me feel like so empowered and beautiful, and I love it. It's my absolute favorite. I just realized that my mic died, so I really hope that you guys have been able to hear me for this video. But anyways, I was talking about how much I love this palette. The color story in here is beautiful. The only reason I'm not loving it, and it's not anything to do with the palette, something in these bottom three pigments down here I am allergic to, and it makes my eyes water so bad, which sucks because I love the shade Transformation. And this is one of the best matte reds I've ever used in my life. But even if I took this away, I still love this palette. It is everything that I ever wanted. And I think they did such an amazing job together. And I would love to see them do something else, to be honest. I really like Heather Austin, and I think she's very sweet and very talented. Coming in at number 4, we have my Unearthly Cosmetics Get Groovy palette. The last time I checked, this palette was still available. If it is, I'll have it linked along with everything else in the description box. But this came in the large summer mystery box, and I love this. As I already said, I love the freaking rainbow. It's beautiful. This isn't quite a rainbow palette, but it's close. But it's so much more than just your average rainbow. The matte formula in here is freaking beautiful. I love the shimmers, and I'm going to try to show up closes of all of these, but this is so freaking stunning, and I've created a ton of looks with these, and I love it. I love it so much. Now we are down to my top 3 palettes. And coming in at number 3 is a palette. It's one of the first ones I ever bought. It is the So Strange, and I love this. The artwork, I love it. But the color story, listen, these 2 multi-chromes took me out. Like, this is my favorite multi-chrome in my collection. It's like a yellow that goes to a fiery orange. I've never in my life seen anything like it. It is so freaking stunning. I love this palette, and I will never get rid of it. It's one of those palettes. If somebody came in my house and stole this, I would repurchase it on Mercari for $200 if I had to. And then I would fight the person that took it because I would lose my mind. I just freaking love that palette. Now we are at my top 2. Coming in at number 2, we have the remastered Fall Magic. I love this palette. It's fall. It's beautiful. You could wear it all year long, but I'm a grungy girl at heart. I love these grungy tones. They are beautiful. Whatever Unearthly did with the shimmer formula, they outdid not only themselves, but everyone. This is the best shimmer formula that I have ever used. They are so like glittery and sparkly and just high impact shine, but they are so soft and smooth. You don't feel glitter particles in them at all. And it's like a thin but very pigmented, impactful formula. And I love this palette. I'm pretty sure it's still available. And like I already said, I will have it linked down below. But coming in at number 1 is one of my favorite palettes of the year. The only thing that knocked this out of the number 1 spot was the Winter Wonderland by Cosmic Beauty, and that's because it was an all blue palette, and nothing can beat an all blue palette. Not even Unearthly, as much as I love them, but this was right up there with it. Well, we're back like 2 hours later. I was just editing this video so I can have it up for tomorrow. And I realized I didn't have sound at all in the last 3 minutes of it. And I don't know what happened, but we were talking about the DEVOUR palette. I freaking love this palette. That's why it is ranked as my number 1. I love these green shades with these wine shades. And I used to use these 2 ColourPop palettes. It was in the Limelight, which is no longer sold, unfortunately. And the Wine and Only to create this. Hold on. Now you can see all my chins, but I mean, can you see the theme here? It is so beautiful, and I've always loved the lime green with the wine shades, or green with those wine like sangria shades. And when I seen that she made a palette of that, I literally lost my mind. I was so freaking excited, and I'm still so excited for this palette. The full collection, it's so beautiful. You have three holochromes over here. This beautiful shade Trap switches from like a lime green to a beautiful like pink wine shade. All of the shimmers in this are stunning. The matte formula is absolutely incredible, and that is why this is my number one Unearthly Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. Also, this collection, I don't know if it's still available. As I already mentioned, if it is, I will link it. And I'm like leaning over and it's not cute, but it also came with this beautiful blush highlight duo. I've used these as eyeshadows and face highlight, and the blush is just stunning. But it came with a bunch of lip products in these beautiful crystal like outer packagings, and I love these. As you can tell by my room, that is so my vibe. I just love Unearthly as a brand, and I love their vibe. I couldn't think of the word. I just love their overall vibe. I love the grungy color stories. They always come out with something new and exciting and unique. And to me, they stand out. I remember back when I first started watching YouTube and seeing them have releases as like Alien Cosmetics, like the Serendipity palette, and seeing Angelica Nikivis talk about them on her channel. And at the time, there was no way I couldn't afford to buy a dollar palette, let alone anything else. But I just wanted to try them for so long. They had my eye for so long. And then when I finally got the opportunity to purchase a palette, I've never looked back. I love their formula. It's unmatched, in my opinion. There's a reason that is my absolute favorite. And I'm so excited to see what else they release this year. If you love Unearthly Cosmetics as well, let me know down below what your favorite palette is, or what palettes do you think that I would love that I'm missing. Two that pop straight up in my head are the In the Dark palette and Don't Be Jelly. Definitely Don't Be Jelly. But two that I missed that I wish I could get is the Vitality and the Daily Grind. I love both of those palettes, but unfortunately at the time I could not pick them up. That's the only thing. I wish they could keep their stuff around a little longer, but I understand that there's some stuff they just let go because it might not be getting as much like feedback and attention as they might need it to. So I completely understand. Just selfishly, I wish it was there forever so I could pick it up. But I really love this brand, if you can't tell. I appreciate you guys so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. And like I already mentioned, just let me know your favorite Unearthly palettes down below. Or are there any here that I have that you want to pick up? But I thank you guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, I really hope you will. And until next time, bye.